Hello and welcome. My name is Elfie. I was an elf. I lived at the North Pole and I worked at Santa's workshop. It was like working in an Amazon warehouse, but with extra benefits like free candy canes and magical snow to play with. It was a good life, and over the last 300 years, I had made many friends. The top three were Will Ferrell, the Shelf Elf, and of course my best friend, Dobby. I was a simple elf, content and happy with the small things in life. The warmth of the fireplace after a long day of work. The Christmas songs on the radio being the same every day. My working chair being the right level of comfiness. I despise change, so this job at Santa's workshop didn't change and never did change. It was perfect and I couldn't have been happier. But unexpected events happened, and turns out I died. I'll save the gruesome details for later. All you need to know is I'm telling you this story from the grave. It's time for me to begin. I hope you are comfortable. Let us return to the workshop where it all began. On one quiet December evening, as I was leaving the workshop, Dobby approached me in the snow. He looked even more exhausted and terrible than he normally did. He grabbed my shirt and almost fell to the ground. "Dobby, are you okay? What's happening?" "Dobby has found the truth. We are being lied to. Leave this job, Elfie, while you still can." "Dobby, what do you mean, lied to?" "The man in the sky, the magic snow, the hidden factory, and worst of all, I'll approach you again tomorrow. Tell no one that you have seen me." He ran off into the snow and quietly disappeared. I tell you this was startling for little humble old me. Santa's workshop would never lie to us, but then I trust Dobby. Being a house elf, he's especially loyal. So, as I tried to sleep later that night, I was agitated beyond belief. I decided the next day I would confront Dobby in the workplace, but then the next day came and Dobby was strangely absent. And then the next day came and went with no sign of my friends. I felt like it was time to visit his house. After a short journey to a nearby neighborhood, I found myself outside his house and knocking his front door. Dobby's weeping wife opened the door. "He killed himself." "I'm sorry?" "He's dead." As Dobby's wife was talking, her hands were clenched into fists. She was obviously irate. "Dobby would not have killed himself. I know this." "Suicide is the official cause of death, so it's what we must begrudgingly accept." She handed me a piece of paper, looked suspiciously around outside, and abruptly closed the door. I walked away and opened the paper. It turned out to be a photograph of some mysterious men in black taking away the body. Dobby's dead body had candy canes impaled into his eyes. Blood had been splattered across the walls. It was a grotesque way to die. Could it be murder? And who were these mysterious men? I trudged home and sat next to the lit fireplace in darkness. Tears streamed down from my eyes as grief overwhelmed me. I tried to grapple with the situation. I think about the positive memories of my late friends, but then my mind rejects everything and I think, why? Why did this happen? The grief turned to anger, which consumed my mind. I sat there long into the night, refusing to come to terms with this deeply sad reality. When the day started, I began my regular routine of walking to my workplace. Instead of walking to my chair, I found my feet taking me to Santa's office. It's the place I usually went when I felt down. Santa is a wonderful manager. I opened the door to see Santa where he usually was on the other side of this long table. his face cloaked in darkness like normal. Ho ho ho, Elfie! What brings you to my office, lad? I'm at breaking point, Santa. My mind is filled with despair and mourning. Ho ho ho, don't be concerned. It's Christmas, so even if your friend Dobby died, it's not the time to let it affect you. You are part of Santa's family. We love you, Elfie. It's unusual for one of the happiest elves to be so upset. Santa, how did you know it was Dobby who died? Listen to me, Elfie. That is not important. What is important is that you don't ask questions, and you return to your work. Life starts and ends. It happens. But I think he was Yes, Alfie? Speak louder. He was merry. He was very merry, Santa. Well, it is Christmas after all. Now go. Leave. As I left, my hands were shaking. Santa's behavior was irregular and aggressive. I had never seen him like this. After the encounter with Santa, I tried to work. Understandably, my productivity was down. Something not so great for December, a well-known crunch month for us elves. My overwhelmed mind begins to wander, and my eyes pass a painting of our manager Santa on the wall. Its presence should be comforting, but it feels creepy, as if the portrait is watching me. The eyes seem realistic and glisten in the light. My mind must be playing tricks on me. Then my eyes glance to the window and I see some weird-looking creatures in the snow. As soon as my eyes lay upon them, they disappear. Is Santa's workshop not what it seems? After a long and arduous day, I felt the urge to investigate. But what happens next? Being dead and all, it's quite hard to remember. Come back next week for the climax to the story. I would have remembered it by then, for sure. So have a good Christmas. Goodbye.
川のほとりの名もない花がきっと僕から君に伝わる